and welcome to University Challenge. This is it, the grand final. Competing tonight are teams from Auckland and Waikato. Asking the questions, Peter Sinclair.
Good evening. Nice to have you with us, and here we are at last after 9 very exciting weeks. I don't think I can ever recall 2 more exciting semi-finals. First, Auckland dispatched Canterbury after a thrilling match, and last week Waikato, in their very first semi-final, managed to defeat the heavies, the defending champions, Otago, and they make their first final tonight. Let's see firstly what all the teams will win.
Each player in the winning team will receive a Laser 128 personal computer. The runners-up will each receive a $750 Bank of New Zealand auto access account, and everyone taking part will receive a Superlux desk lamp and a Parker pen.
Nice prizes, may the best team win. No change to the rules, of course, although, as I reminded you during the semi-finals, should there be a tie at the end of this, the 1987 final, we'll resolve it by asking starter questions until we have a clear result. And now let's meet the teams. First, here's Auckland.
Good evening. I'm Graham Coop, and I've just been admitted to the bar of the High Court of Ruritania.
Hi, I'm Sue Jensen, reading Operations Research and the Financial Pages.
And their captain.
Hi, I'm Charles Chevelle, studying law, and this is Bonk, our mascot.
G'day, I'm Bruce Williams, and for all the girls and guys at Lincoln Road Youth Group,
And opposing them in their first ever final, Waikato.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Anita Voice and I'm reading history.
Hello there, I'm Cynthia Cotton. I'm reading Dirt.
And their captain.
Hello, my name's actually Andrew Algernon Smythe, and I'm a toff.
Good evening, Alison Sotheby. Underdog by appointment to Her Majesty the Queen.
I think I liked them better when they were French, didn't you? And now let's play the game. Here's the first start of 10 points in the 1987 Grand Final. What is the title of Maurice Shadbolt's recently published novel?
Jensen, Auckland.
Season of the Jew.
A nice interruption, Miss Jensen. That is correct, and Auckland on its way. 10 points, and here's your bonus. It's a very light bonus. This is the first one. What food comes first in the dictionary under W? Comes in different flavours. There's a hint for you.
A, perhaps watermelon? Anything before that?
Any ideas? Let's hear it aloud.
Waffles?
Waffles.
Before waffles.
Is the answer waffles?
Yes.
Unfortunately, that's the second. Wafer is the first, no points. Secondly, what edible animal comes first under A?
Wouldn't be an aardvark.
You can eat it.
Yes,
Can
you
you?
can,
Suppose you can.
An aardvark?
I must give you the point. In fact, I have abalone, but I presume you can eat aardvarks. I'm going to give you 5 points. And thirdly, what comes first in the dictionary under the letter I? This is a 2-part answer.
Could you repeat the question, please?
What comes first in the dictionary under the letter I?
It will be
The first
I.
food we're talking about here.
Oh, this is food.
Yep, this is a 2-part answer.
Ice cream.
Don't want to hurry you, but
anything?
it is...
cream.
Ice cream?
Is correct. 5 points, and here's another starter. What term denotes documents allegedly written by Mary Queen of Scots to Lord Bothwell, which implicated her and her husband Darnley's murder? They were love letters and poems, and the name refers to the container in which they were found. Any member of either team? This is a starter. No.
Boise, Waikato.
The beer barrel letters?
No, I'm sorry. Auckland.
Jensen, Auckland.
The locket letters?
No, the casket letters. No points to any member of either team, and here's another starter. Spell for me the part of the French coast on which is located the French Riviera, of which...
Chevelle, Auckland.
Cotedazur.
That's exactly it. Côte d'Azur is correct. 10 points, and here's your bonus. Which native tree did Captain Cook use to prepare spruce beer for controlling scurvy in his crew? Which native tree?
The rimu.
Is correct, 5 points. The temperate rainforest of the Southern Alps is mainly composed of rimu and rata on the lower elevations. What tree composes most of the forest on the upper level?
Wouldn't be beach.
Beach.
Is correct, 5 points. And thirdly, at a certain time of day, it's noted that a tree that is 15 metres high casts a shadow that is 20 metres long. What is the distance from the top of the tree to the tip of its shadow? The distance.
Okay, so be 25 metres.
25 metres.
Is correct. That's another 5 points. Clean sweep of the bonuses, and here's a starter. When Martin Crowe scored his 6th Test century in February, with which other player did he take New Zealand from disaster to safe ground in the first Test against the West Indies with their 24-run stand? Any offers?
Williams, Auckland.
Martin Snedden.
No. Waikato, can you take it?
Southby, Waikato.
Jeremy Coney.
No, John Wright. Here's another starter. What is perhaps the most important industry in the forest of Périgord in France?
Williams, Auckland.
Truffles.
That's it, the collection of truffles, another 10 points to Auckland, and here's your bonus. I want the first names of these characters in literature. Gatsby, as in the great Gatsby. What was his Christian name? First name, just the first one.
Yeah, I think that could be
Charles.
No, J. Gatsby. Secondly, Micawber. Mr. Micawber. His Christian name was?
George, Bill, Tim.
No idea at all.
George.
No, Mr. Wilkins Micawber. And thirdly, von Aschenbach from Death in Venice. What was his Christian name?
Hugo.
Also, be German name.
Wilhelm.
No, Gustav. No points on that part of the bonus, but it's 55 and Waikato yet to open their score. Here's a starter. Which writer created Pellerin, the mythologist, Bliss, who has telepathic insight, Phallam, the hermaphrodite, and Councillor Golan Trevise, who then searched for the mythical origins of humanity in the book Foundation and Earth, the author?
Jensen, Auckland.
Isaac Asimov.
Is correct, Isaac Asimov. Another 10 points to Auckland, powering along here. And here's your bonus. A nidus, N-I-D-U-S, is the egg deposit of which creature? A nidus.
Turtle, perhaps.
The turtle.
No, an insect or a spider. Erected. No points. The flamingo is noted for its nest being of what shape? What shape is a flamingo's nest?
Is it a big bundle of sticks?
It could be. It's a water bird. Yeah.
No idea?
Oval.
Oval.
Any offers? No, a truncated cone. And thirdly, what comprises the nests of the Southeast Asian swifts, which then become part of the famous bird's nest soup?
Ooh,
What are they made of?
leaves and part of the droppings, I think.
Leaves and droppings.
No, they are made from the saliva of the swift itself. No points. Here's another starter for 10. In a muster of sheep, for instance, or a herd of gazelles, how would you identify by behaviour an animal that was stotting?
Williams, Auckland.
It would be jumping over an article that wasn't there.
Jumping?
Over an object that wasn't an imaginary object. Like a pretend fence.
I'm going to give you the points. Bounding up in the air, keeping all four legs straight is the answer I had, but I think you had it, so I'll give you 10 points, Auckland, and here's your bonus. I want you to spell for me the German word doppelganger, which has come into the English for a ghostly duplicate of a living person. Spell doppelganger.
That's D-O... Sorry?
I'm sorry, I was going to say this for 5 points. Continue.
Yeah. That's D-O-P-P-E-L-G-A-N-G-E-R.
That's exactly it. 5 points, and now for 10 points. Spell the Latin name for the vampire bat, which is Desmodus rotundus.
Desmodus rotundus.
D-E-S.
D-E-S.
M-O-D-U-S.
US or
I-S, I think. Desmodus rotundus. D-E-S-M-O-D-I-S.
No, US. R-O-T-U-N-D. US. No points for that part of the bonus. Let's have a music starter. Now, this is the opening music from a recent film. I want to know which film. Here it is.
Boise, Waikato.
Mosquito Coast.
No, I'm afraid not, Auckland. Can you take it?
Jensen, Auckland.
Something wild?
That's right. Something wild. That's exactly right. 10 points. Answer snatched out of the air there by Ms. Jensen for Auckland, earning the right to a bonus worth 15 points. From which film are each of the following? First, this one.
Hey, ain't we met someplace? What a face, whoever you are. Big brown.
It could be.
Any idea at all? Name of the film?
Woman in Red.
No, Tootsie. Now this one.
Yeah.
Some kind of thriller, I should say.
It sounds very
It's a comedian.
That's not Sting.
Well, try Down by Law.
Yeah, okay. Down by Law.
No, and I'm afraid I don't know if Murray Ball would like Foot Rot Flats being described as a thriller. That was Horsebeat from Foot Rot Flats, and here's the last one.
I marched recklessly towards the Titan and saw that a multitude of black birds were circling and clustering about the hood. I began running along the road. I felt no fear, only a wild, trembling exultation, a as I ran up the hill towards the motionless monster. Out of the hood hung red shreds, at which the hungry birds now pecked.
It's definitely the War of the Worlds soundtrack.
Give it a go.
What?
Any
What's-
ideas?
Let's have an answer. It's
War of the Worlds?
That's it, the epilogue from the War of the Worlds. 5 points salvaged in the bonus, and here's a starter. As Napoleon's defeated troops returned from Moscow, the intense cold is said to have disintegrated the metal buttons on their breeches because of the formation of allotropes of which metal? No conferring, this is a starter. Any offers from either team?
Williams, Auckland.
Copper.
No, I'm sorry, Waikato, over to you.
Smith, Waikato.
Silver.
No, the answer is tin. Here's another starter. What is Ngato Kimata Haura, belonging to the 5 tribes Ngapui, Aupo, Te Arawa, Ngati Kahu, and Ngati Fatwa?
Jensen, Auckland.
It's the canoe that they are derived from.
That's it. The big war canoe is correct. The big canoe, rather. Another 10 points. And it's 105 to Auckland, with Waikato yet to score and a chance at a further 15 for Auckland. Which variety of quartz is dark green with red spots?
Jasper?
No, Jasper's red. Quartz. Crystalline?
Let's keep the conferences fast.
Jasper?
No, bloodstone. I would have accepted heliotrope. Secondly, who was the dwarf who guarded the Ring of the Nibelung? His name was...
All the rings.
No.
His name was...
Anything.
Don't want to hurry you. His name was...
Gala.
No, Alberic. And thirdly, what term is common both to anatomy and to diamonds, split along a definite plane so as to yield a smooth surface?
There'll be cleavage.
Cleavage?
That is exactly right. That's 5 points. And here's another starter for 10 points. Who said, "O Lord, give me chastity and continency, but..."
Coop, Auckland.
St Augustine.
Nicely interrupted, Mr. Coop. That is correct. St. Augustine. And here's your bonus. What title did Harry Sinclair and Don McGlashan give to their musical tour at the end of last year, in which they celebrated the ritual of a certain time of day?
The reason for breakfast.
The reason for breakfast?
That is correct, 5 points. And secondly, you can't unscramble eggs is a loose way of stating which of the laws of thermodynamics.
Presumably entropy. Yeah.
Lesser entropy to greater entropy. No, do you want to know
You give the answer.
law, or do you
Yeah.
want to know the second, which number it is?
I just want to know which number it is.
I think
Which
it's
law?
Second, I think.
Second.
Second, that is correct, 5 points. And thirdly, most of us at some time have eaten chalazai for breakfast. Exactly what is or are chalazai?
Chalazai.
You'll know this, you won't.
Omelets?
I'm sorry?
Omelets?
Can't accept that. Part of an omelette. It's the stringy little white bits in egg white on either side which anchor the yolk in the middle. You've just learned something you didn't know before. They're called a chalaza. Chalazai in the plural. Here's another starter for 10. In whose films are these scenarios? A bread roll does a dance routine. A boot becomes a steak and displaces spaghetti. A broken clock becomes a patient on the surgeon's table. The unveiling of a grandiose statue reveals a tramp asleep in its arms. The last in this list of 4 being the film City Lights. Whose films are those scenarios in?
Williams, Auckland.
Walt Disney.
No, I'm afraid not. Waikato, can you take it?
Southby, Waikato.
Andy Warhol.
No, Charlie Chaplin. I thought the little tramp would give you that one. Let's have another starter for 10. In the Apocrypha, what is the name of the woman spied on by 2 lecherous elders while bathing?
Boise, Waikato.
Susanna.
Is correct. You're on your way, Waikato. Well done. And here's your bonus. What is the present-day popular name for the intelligence and espionage agency of the British government?
MI5, isn't it?
Yeah. MI5.
No, MI6. I'm sorry, no points there. Secondly, which book did writer Nigel West publish shortly after Peter Wright's Spycatcher, in which he supported Mr. Wright's allegations of a bugging and burgling conspiracy to destabilise Harold Wilson's Labour government? What was the name of the book? It was Mole Hunt. And thirdly, for a given kind of gas, the pressure of the gas multiplied by the volume it occupies and divided by its temperature is directly proportional to the amount of gas used, the mass of gas used, and what else? Do you know it?
R. Whatever. R is a constant, 8.3.
No, the answer I needed was the number of moles used. No points there. Let's have another starter for 10. What term denotes a Venetian boat song in a time of 6 or 12 quaver beats to the bar? It may also be an instrumental composition or vocal composition resembling this, both being reminiscent.
Southby, Waikato.
Barcarolle.
A barcarolle, nicely interrupted. Another 10 points. Waikato. And here's your bonus. The base of the hand is supported by how many carpal bones? The base of the hand. Some quick computation here. Involving the hand.
5.
5 is wrong. 8, I'm afraid, is the correct answer. Secondly, there are 8 stories on which structure of legendary instability?
Leaning Tower of Pisa.
The Leaning Tower
That's
of
it,
Pisa.
5 easy points. And thirdly, which flute is pitched 8 notes higher than the concert flute?
Is it?
It's the...
Piccolo.
Is correct. Another 5 points, and you're underway. Here's a picture starter. I want the name of the artist in this painting. Here it is.
Smith, Waikato.
Did you buzz deliberately, Mr. Smith, or not?
No.
You didn't. OK. I want the name of the artist. No confirming.
Jensen, Auckland.
It's Peter McIntyre.
Is correct. 10 points, Auckland. Peter McIntyre it is. And here's your picture bonus. 3 more of Mr. McIntyre's paintings. I want you to identify the general New Zealand area which each depicts, just the general area.
It looks
First this one.
I'm really off Bay of Islands.
I think so, Bay of Islands.
You reckon Bay of Islands?
Well,
Let's have an answer. It is
Bay of Islands.
Bay of Islands is correct. That's 5 points. Secondly, it's
Canterbury
the desert.
Canterbury. Oh no, how about the
King Country.
Central Plateau, the Desert Road?
Yeah, Desert Road
Desert
area.
Road. No, North Canterbury, and thirdly this one.
Is that Nelson Lakes?
Try Nelson Lakes.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Any other ideas?
Let's have an answer.
No.
Nelson Lakes?
No, it is Lake Taupo, and we're on to another starter for 10 points. Which sea is bounded in the south by the submarine Carlsberg Ridge, southeast of Socotra Island, and was known in antiquity as the Mare Erythraeum? What's the name of the sea? No conferring. Any offers?
Williams, Auckland.
The Caspian Sea.
No, it's not Waikato.
Voisey, Waikato.
Sea of Azov?
No, the Arabian Sea, another starter. Which, at the halfway mark, the match has been all the way of Auckland at this stage. They took an early lead. They've gone on to 145, and as you can see, trailing at the moment Waikato, and this is their very first semi-final. Looking back historically, I see that Auckland won back in 1985. I've mentioned that Waikato had never actually been in a final before. They last met in the heats in 1985, and Auckland won by a big margin. But we're only halfway through the programme, and anything could happen. Here's another starter for 10. Which symphony by Beethoven was composed to celebrate the memory of a great man and was originally called Bonaparte, this title being erased?
Smith, Waikato.
Heroica.
Is correct. Nicely interrupted. 10 points. Waikato, that's it. Here's your bonus. What in New Zealand do we call the insect harvestman, as it's sometimes called in Britain? They call it the harvestman. We call it something else.
Daddy Longlegs.
That's it, the daddy longlegs. 5 points. Secondly, what's the common name of the member of the iguana family which has the ability to stand up on its hind legs and run across water? Very handy. Not many people can manage that. Any idea? It's, you'll know it or you won't. It is the basilisk. And thirdly, what is the common name for the bird jacana in reference to its ability to walk on floating plants? It's called commonly the...
No, we don't know.
It's the lily trotter. Here's another starter for 10 points. Which future MP told Churchill that if she were his...
Chevelle, Auckland.
Lady Esther.
Oh, an inspired interruption. That's exactly right. The quotation for the viewers was, if she had put poison, that if she were his wife, she'd put poison in his coffee. Churchill replied, Nancy, if you were my wife, I'd drink it. And obviously, Mr. Chevelle has heard that one before. 10 points for Auckland. Mr. Chevelle, and here's the bonus. In the opening of a Shakespeare play, what line precedes the following? Made glorious summer by this son of York. The one before that.
Now is the winter of our discontent.
That's it, 5 points. Secondly, in Oscar Wilde's The Importance of Being Earnest, what sentence precedes the following? One should always have something sensational to read in the train. It's in reference to a certain type of book.
Something.
Any idea?
What is he proposing to read?
No idea.
You'll know this or you won't. No.
Just the telephone directory?
No, the line is, I never travel without my diary. And thirdly, what line precedes the following in A Christmas Carol? Oh, sing, all ye citizens of heaven above. The line before that is...
Sing choirs of angels. Sing in exaltation.
That's exactly it. 5 points, and it's 165 to 45 in favour of Auckland. Here's a starter. What is the following phrase describing? An abomination unto the Lord, but a very present help in trouble.
Jensen, Auckland.
A lie.
That's it, it's a lie. That's the correct one, and that's another 10 points for Auckland, and here's the bonus. Which patriot fought against the Austrians and French in Italy and with 1,000 volunteers conquered Sicily and Naples for the emerging Kingdom of Italy in 1860? It was...
Garibaldi.
Correct, 5 points. Secondly, what is the modern name of the city at the foot of the Apennines, which in Etruscan times was called Felsina? The name is associated with a large smoked sausage. Perhaps I should have given this to Waikato in view of their early mascot.
Breakfast?
It is...
Not salami.
No, it's Bologna. I thought the university might give you that. Thirdly, what was the surname of the brothers Gentile and Giovanni, noted for their paintings of Venice in the 15th century? Their surname was...
Canaletto?
No, Bellini. And here's another starter for 10 points. Which man commanded the area in which raiders derailed an armoured train on the 15th of November 1899, taking the young Winston Churchill prisoner? In 1908, he became Prime Minister of the Transvaal. Who was he? No conferring.
Voisey, Waikato.
Alan Smuts.
No, I'm sorry. Auckland, can you take it?
Chauvel, Auckland.
Kruger?
No, Louis Bolter. And here's another. Starter for 10. What score was amassed at the Concord Oval when New Zealand took the Bledisloe Cup from the Wallabies in Sydney?
Smith, Waikato.
30-16.
That's it, 10 points. And here's the bonus. Amadeus was the Latin form of Theophilus, one of the 4 names with which Mozart was baptized. For 5 points, I want 2 of his other names.
Wolfgang Amadeus. Can we keep it going?
You've got Wolfgang, we need one more.
Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, and we can't think
You
of
can't
another
think of
one.
the rest. Johannes Chrysostomus, so no points for that part of the bonus. When Mozart was 7 in 1763, he was received by the kings of France and England, respectively. For 5 points each, I want the names of those 2 kings. 5 points per king. When he was 7, he was received by the kings of France and England.
When he was
Which kings?
1763.
Oh boy, 1763. That would be George the Third of
5
England.
points, that's it, George III, and in France?
And in France, 1763, it would have been Louis the 16th, yeah, 15th or 16th, I can't decide.
Would you like to give me one of them?
15th.
That's exactly right. Good guess. Louis the 15th. Well done. No 5 points, 65 to 180, and here's a starter. What Greek term refers to the species of atom which have the same atomic number but different mass numbers? And
Voisey, Waikato.
Allotrope, no.
I'm sorry, you lose 5 points. I'll continue for Auckland. And in the English language, translates as same place. No conferring, Auckland.
Williams, Auckland.
Isotope.
That is it. Desos topos is correct. Isotope. 10 points, and here's your bonus. In astronomy, what's an aphelion? Aphelion.
Aphelion, that's where something is furthest away from the sun.
The furthest point in its orbit around
the
the
furthest
sun.
point in an object's orbit from this around the
That
sun.
is correct. A planet or comet furthest away from the sun. 5 points. What part of a comet is the coma?
That's the, are you sure?
Yes. Okay. The tail. The long
No, it's the
string.
luminous cloud surrounding the frozen nucleus. Not the tail, no point for that. Secondly, thirdly, whose laws first described the revolutions of the planets around the sun? It was whose laws?
Or Copernicus?
Kepler's.
Kepler is correct, Mr. Chauvel. Another 5 points, and here's a starter. Alluding to whose love affairs were these words written? Let us have wine and women and mirth and laughter, sermons and soda water the day after. About whose love affairs?
Voisey, Waikato.
Charles II?
No, I'm sorry, Auckland, no conferring. Can you take it? No idea at all. It was...
Coop, Auckland.
James II.
No, it was Don Juan. Byron, of course, writing the poem. And here's another starter. Which touring group this year sang the line, "You don't find heaven in isms and schisms," in their song, "Get Up, Stand Up"? Who was it? It was...
Voisey, Waikato.
Striper?
No, Auckland. 5 minutes on the clock. Auckland. Any idea at all?
Williams, Auckland.
ZZ Top.
No, it was Bob Marley's Wailers, and here's another starter. How many babies are born on Earth every second? A rate that's expected to put the population of the planet at 6.2 billion by the year 2000. How many babies per second? No consultation.
Coop, Auckland.
6.
No, Waikato. No conferring.
Smith, Waikato.
20.
No, only 4. Let's go on to another starter. Yeah, as if that wasn't enough. In what year was the first man-made satellite put into orbit around...
Voisey, Waikato.
1958.
No, I'm sorry, and I hadn't finished. You lose 5 points. I continue for Auckland. Into orbit around the Earth. No conferring.
Coop, Auckland.
1961.
No, 1957, as Voisey was 1 year out, 4th of October, Sputnik. And I think it's time we threw in the jackpot starter to see if Waikato can't make a desperate lunge for success. Here it is. What visitor to New Zealand in 1986, formerly of Magdalen College, Cambridge, and Yale University in 1957, wrote the review Share My Lettuce, and more recently The Great Moguls, The Treasures and Dynasties of China, and The Christians, the latter having been seen here as a television series. Who is he?
Voisey, Waikato.
Ugh.
No, I'm sorry.
Bamber Gascoigne.
Bamber Gascoigne, the host of the University Challenge of Britain. Well done, 10 points. And now, here's your chance at the jackpot bonus. You need these points. Double the usual number, but you must get all parts firstly. Name the ousted Fijian foreign minister under question at military barracks after being arrested by the army at his home. We're talking about July this year, world politics in July this year.
Kapil Singh?
No, I'm sorry. Krishna Dutt. No good there. We'll just move on to the next part of the bonus. You could still get some points from it. General Manuel Antonio Noriega rejected calls for his resignation as the head of the defence forces of which republic in July this year? Which republic? The Republic of...
What was the guy's name again?
Ortega.
Noriega. Manuel Antonio Noriega. It was...
Maybe Spain.
Let's have a...
Spain.
No, it was Panama. And thirdly, which leader resigned as president of his Democratic Justice Party, handing control to the party chairman, Ro Tai Wu? 3 minutes on the clock. It was...
That's
Chunduan.
yeah.
Who was it?
It's in South Korea anyway.
Chunduan.
That is correct, sir. You've salvaged 5 points from that bonus, and it's now 70 to 200, and we have only about 3 minutes or less left on the clock. Another starter. Who came to power in 1979 after a revolution which toppled Shah Mohammad Res?
Chauvel, Auckland.
The Ayatollah Khomeini.
That is exactly right. Nice interruption. 10 points, Auckland, and here's your bonus. What term denotes a late 18th and early 19th century art style in architecture, decorative art, and fine art, which was based on the imitation of surviving classical models and types? What was the term denoting that? Let's have a quick answer. 2 minutes to go. It was...
Neoclassicist.
Is correct. Neoclassicism, 5 points. Secondly, what term denotes the cultural period that lasted in Europe from about 4000 to 2400 BC and was characterized by primitive crop growing and stock rearing and the use of polished stone and flint tools and weapons? It was the...
Neolithic.
Yeah, Neolithic.
Neolithic.
Is correct, 5 points. And thirdly, what was Neoplatonism?
Reviving the ideas of Plato, anyway. But about what?
Perfectly simple. Any idea at
A
all?
philosophical school reviving the ideas of Plato.
That's it. Ancient mystical philosophy based on the doctrines of Plato. Simple as that. Perfectly simple. That's 5 points there. And here's a starter. Less than 2 minutes to go. Within what organisation did Andreas Papandreou decide in January to keep Greece as a member, citing as the reason...
Chauvel, Auckland.
NATO.
Is correct. Another nice interruption from the Auckland captain. And here's the bonus. What language in classical Greece was noted particularly as being the dialect of Athens? What language? Let's have it quickly. It was called...
Demotic.
No, Attic. Secondly, what language written in the Greek alphabet was extinct as a spoken language by about 1600 AD, but survives in the ancient Christian Church of Egypt? The language is called...
Yeah, Coptic. Is it?
Koine language.
No,
Let's have an answer.
Coptic.
Is correct, 5 points. And thirdly, what language in the 5th century BC spread to become the lingua franca of the Persian Empire and is still spoken in parts of Syria and the Lebanon? The language is...
Aramaic.
Yeah, Aramaic, I think.
Aramaic.
Is correct. 5 points. You shouldn't look so doubtful. Less than a minute to go. Here's another starter for 10. In which game in Sydney was a 24-all deadlock broken by fullback Sergei Blanco when he scored a match-winning try?
Smith, Waikato.
The match between France and Australia.
That's
in the last
exactly
World
at
Cup.
10 points. Nice interruption, Waikato, and here's your bonus. What is the only part of the electromagnetic spectrum which is sensitive to the human eye? The only one we see is...
The visible spectrum.
Is light. That's exactly at 5 points. Which New Zealand artist painted He's the One, May His Light Shine on the Coomera Patch in 1976?
Colin McCann.
It was Colin McCann, 5 points. And where was New Zealand's first navigational light established? You may not answer. It was established at the entrance to Wellington Harbour, Pencarrow Head. But you can't get the points for that. It's carried your score to 85, but the victors by a very wide margin is Auckland with 245. Our warmest congratulations. Our warmest congratulations to Auckland. They haven't won since 1985, in fact. And our commiserations to Waikato on their first appearance in the final. Our thanks to you for being with us during the series. And now from both teams, first from the victors, Auckland.
He konera.
And from the vanquished, Waikato.
Good night.
Good night.
And from me, a very good night. Good night.